Hey, welcome on in, guys. Tobin here with you, and thanks for checking out the channel. Hope everybody's doing well out there. I don't feel like Heat Nation is doing too good. People seem a little bit pissed off. I don't know if it's because of the South Florida heat, which is, I mean, just honestly, just like the devil's armpit. It's brutal down here, and I don't know if it's just the midst of summer and people are upset because, you know, there's no other big splash happening, but news comes across the wire today that the Spurs and De'Aaron Fox have agreed to a 4-year, $229 million contract extension. Rich Paul let that be known to ESPN. I don't know why this was a surprise. I'm a little bit puzzled as to why Heat fans are kind of being like, "What happened to 2026?" Why this one is drawing the ire. I guess it's just another cherry on top. I feel like the Luka news was a lot more worthy of that just because it's Luka. And, you know, I saw something today, you know, and I'm not judging anybody because I know everybody takes everything and makes it news, but I saw a headline that said, the Miami Heat, Luka Doncic was never the plan in 2026. I feel like, well, if it wasn't, it should have been. I mean, that's a terrible, I mean, if you guys never planned for that, then I don't know what to tell you. Maybe they just never thought they had a shot, but I just was like, that's a ridiculous thing. Why would you even ever want that in the ether? And I don't know that the Heat wanted that leaked or even just want that in any context, but that's just a laughable thing, being like, that's something I would say if I was the Heat, and be like, never wanted him. You know, you can't have that reaction publicly or leak that reaction publicly of Luka Doncic. Oh, 2026, never the plan anyway. Because if Luka Doncic wasn't the plan in 2026, I don't know what is the plan in 2026. Maybe there is no plan. Honestly, it kind of felt like 2026 was one of those things that was out there, and then they realized immediately, like, ooh, there's not really much out there. Let's roll that out. And you can even see in some of that reporting, I think Barry Jackson did some reporting on this, where it was like, you know, 2026 isn't necessarily the plan. So you can see that the Heat were trying to walk that puppy back real quick. I don't exactly know why De'Aaron Fox adds to that. I honestly think that number, $57 million a year for De'Aaron Fox. When I saw that, I was like, man, people were getting on Tyler Hero because Tyler Hero wants $40 million, and I'm like, if the Heat could get Tyler Hero to agree to a $40 million a year extension this year, I kind of feel like they would run and hide and take that extension. Maybe I'm crazy about that, but I feel like Tyler Hero asking for $50 million and seeing some of the guys who are making nearly $60 million is not crazy. And that's not to say Tyler doesn't have his own shortcomings. It's just that the NBA money is crazy right now. So I don't, and you know, I know that was kind of a point of contention. I talked about this in another video, talking about Tyler Hero's records. I'll put that in the description if you guys want, but I don't want to rehash the same thing over Tyler Hero, what money he's going to command or ask for. But the De'Aaron Fox news didn't bother me just because I felt like if they wanted De'Aaron Fox, they should have made a push for him last year. And De'Aaron Fox was pretty pointed in that he wanted to go to the Sacramento Kings from Texas, did want to go play with Victor Wembanyama. Probably a smart move by him. It just happened to be that they also have a Rookie of the Year, and they have Dylan Harper now, and so they have a little bit of almost a Kings-like or old Phoenix Suns-like situation with all these guys who are a little bit of a crossover. But he is the veteran, he is the established guy, and you do need a little bit of that on this team. For the Heat, I kind of thought like a De'Aaron Fox, Tyler Hero, Bam Adebayo core, fun. But if you're going to have to lock into him at $229 million and Tyler Hero at $150 million and Bam Adebayo already in the $200 million, what is that core, right? Like I'm just trying to say, like, for the Heat fans, like, yeah, it's cool. You're getting an all-star, and he was, you know, the best player on a decent Kings team that blew up in the span of a blink of an eye. What is that core? And that was my only thing with the De'Aaron Fox thing. I know I've done plenty of videos on De'Aaron Fox, and I'm not saying I would have hated it, but I do feel like Heat fans would have been just as queasy, being like, a lot of money for De'Aaron Fox, on top of Tyler Hero being here and Bam Adebayo. That to me with the Fox move was like if Fox and Tyler both being on long-term deals, it's a little bit of like it's not a very big backcourt. It's two guys who you're like, are they going to make each other better? Maybe. But he didn't necessarily have like the greatest chemistry with other guys on his team when they got more ball dominant guys on that team. So I don't know how that would have worked. I really don't. The other piece of news that was there today that is interesting, and I don't really know what to make of it, is this Giannis stuff that Shams just keeps throwing out. Shams Charania today was on Get Up, and he was basically being like, yeah, the Giannis thing isn't settled yet. He hasn't made up his mind. And that there are teams in the, waiting in the wings to get Giannis's official decision. And I don't know if you guys have noticed, but Shams has been like, anytime Giannis is brought up, there was some clips of like UD like talking about, there's nothing wrong with him staying. And like Shams is always kind of like got this squirrely look in his eyes because Shams knows stuff, obviously, right? But he also has come out and been like, this is going to be the craziest summer ever. And it's been anything but. I mean, like really nothing crazy. That crazy has happened. Kevin Durant left. That was super obvious. Damian Lillard getting waived and stretched is like the second craziest thing. And I don't think that's what he was referring to. And then like what else? LeBron is making a stink. Like LeBron hasn't left. Giannis hasn't left. Luka stayed with the Lakers and extended with the Lakers. Joker did not extend. I'm just like, there's not a ton of, Miles Turner left the Pacers. Like Miles Turner's not allowed to be in the craziest summer ever. He's not. So Shams was on McAfee and was like, yeah, this is going to be the most craziest summer ever. And it really hasn't been. So I don't know if Shams genuinely knows something, because we can kind of bring this back to the Jimmy Butler thing, as much as I know you all love to do that. But like, look, Shams was out here spitting the truth when a lot of people, me included, Heat fans included, were like, yeah, he's just doing this for clicks and attention. Like is there anything? And the guy knew the whole time, no, Jimmy Butler wants to be on the Suns, only the Suns, and because he knows he has got an extension waiting for the Suns. And until the Warriors opened up the purse strings, that turned out to be very, very true. So I don't know what to make of it. And are the Heat one of those teams that is waiting in the wings? Man, one would hope. I know that there's some Clippers fodder that's out there around them. We know that the Warriors are always going to be a popular name that's going to be in his ether as well. We know that Bam Adebayo and Giannis share an agent. So I think the Heat would have some inroads there on knowing where it would be. I don't think that Bam's agent, Alex Saratzis, would want Bam traded for Giannis Antetokounmpo. So I don't know what the basis of that trade would be. That would excite the Bucks. You would know that it would have to be something that's kind of win now. Even with the picks you're going to give up, that they need something because they don't control their own draft destiny for a while. But the Bucks are out here and they're tweeting out yawn emojis. So they're basically saying Shams is full of shit. They're out here, flat out calling like Shams is being a fraud on this stuff. Giannis has also kind of come out swinging in the box. But again, look, to Shams' credit, not that he's right 100% of the time, because he's not. But he's dealt with this before. People are questioning his credibility, and he's standing on it. And all he's been out here is like, yeah, like they haven't really got anything. And it's a loose goose type of place to be. Like he's not exactly putting all chips in or out. He's just out there basically saying like, look, there's been meetings over the last week or so that his team, not the Bucks, but the team Giannis is like monitoring where things are at. He is, apparently like said something. He said, sources says nothing is set in stone about whether he'll stay or leave. Again, it's a flimsy place, but to the Heat, if you were to look on people are going to like, hey, what's the Heat's plan? What's the big one that they're waiting on? He's one of the guys like that's of recent where you're like, hey, if you are waiting for something and you're trying to keep it all flexible, which the Heat seem to be, it's pretty much him, a super pipe dream of Joker if he doesn't go off to Serbia and ride his horses that he wants to play with Jovic. And, we talked about this a little bit with the Luka stuff is like, who are the other guys out there? Like Ant-Man, who's got 4 years left on his extension. Paolo Banchero, who just signed a 5-year extension. Ja Morant and Zion are kind of the only guys, and they got their own warts to deal with. And this is the thing that's interesting with the Heat. It's funny that they're in this spot because people are talking about not pulling the trigger, not making the moves, all that type of stuff. And it is a little frustrating because it has felt a little bit like the Heat have never found the guy that's just perfect for them. And, maybe that's just their excuse of not being able to reel in anybody. But, it's like Kevin Durant, too old. Damian Lillard, too expensive. De'Aaron Fox, too much crossover with Tyler. Donovan Mitchell, is Tyler going to be better than him? I don't know. And there's just never been that guy who has tickled the fancy of the franchise. They've also just not been in the position to have all the assets. And wouldn't you know it, the one time that they get desperate, and the player ends up becoming a shell of himself and then is shrouded in controversy. And you gave up a first-round pick for him. So I think the Heat right now are, I don't think anything major is going to happen. I understand people being pissed off. The De'Aaron Fox thing, it's like you kind of knew already. Like the only thing that you were holding out hope for is like, hey, the Spurs stumbled upon two guys who are De'Aaron Fox-like. So will that open the door? Hey, maybe the door will be open later on down the road. It could possibly be there. But for this thing, it feels like the only two dominoes really left to drop are Giannis, if there is anything. And the other thing that gives you a major pause on the Giannis front is the Damian Lillard wave and stretch to sign Miles Turner. I have a real hard time believing the Bucks do that if they think Giannis is out the door, right? Like it just felt like that was the death knell of if you have any hope that they're not going to trade him. Like anybody who, even if he wants to get traded, you bowl a move like that, like you're going to give it some type of run, some type of a chance. And that just seems to be Deadsville right now. So that the Luka drama's over. Honestly, I'm a little bit more worried about this Luka Greece trip with Pam now all of a sudden because now it feels like the shoe's on the other foot. I don't like that at all. Luka, I know how charming those Slovenians can be with their adorable accents. I don't like this at all. Throwing back drinks. And he's like, hey, brate. He's like, I could make you wilt. It's like, oh, damn you, Luka. Because Luka's out here on his press conference. He's telling everybody, like, all these guys he's recruiting. No LeBron there, though. I don't like that at all. And then the other big thing is LeBron, which it feels like a lot of that stuff has died down. Even though he wasn't at Luka's press conference, he reportedly FaceTimed him the day that the extension went through. And, and he was playing golf with his son. So I don't know, man. I don't know. It doesn't feel like 2026. You could probably shoot it into the sky unless there is a crazy path, something that drops in the Heat's lap that we're not seeing right now. Yeah, I understand people being pissed off. Being pissed off about Fox, it just feels like a cherry on top of things you are already rightfully be pissed about. But I don't need additional pissed offness about the Fox thing. Like, we knew the Fox thing wasn't going to happen. He wanted to go to San Antonio. It was his handpicked team. They were going to pay him. You're not going to double cross Rich Paul. Like, wink. They're going to make that move for him. So, not surprised that went down. And also not too upset the Heat aren't paying that kind of money for him right now either, especially with where they're at.